Good evening and hello everyone. I hope everyone's okay. And tonight I'm going to be speaking to Gary Fields. I've spoken to Gary a few times, investigated with you as well. And how you doing?
Oh, good evening. I'm good, Jacqueline. How are you?
Oh, okay. Yeah, the weekends are great and they're keeping me going. Hey, things happen, but yeah, you just have to keep going, don't you?
Yeah, I certainly do enjoy my weekends. I can say that.
Yeah, you've got to, haven't you? You just got to go for it. And, if you meet up with great people, that's a bonus as well, isn't it?
Oh my God, couldn't even don't even know where to start this year alone. Can't believe it's December, to be honest with you.
No, I totally get that. It's been really mad, hasn't it? Got Carl watching. Hi, Carl. Carl, I met at Derby Jail a couple of weeks ago. Great friend. So, yeah. I don't think it's getting out at the moment. So, see what
We'll,
happens.
we'll do a bit of
But
sharing as well.
yeah, that's right. I've shared a bit and just see what happens. Really, it's just a bit quiet at the moment. But yeah. So would you like to introduce yourself? I first met you at Warwick Castle. We're on a event like 13 of us, weren't there? So that was a special
And
night, wasn't it?
I'd say extra special that was.
Yeah.
I think I'd done an invest. I think I was there 2 weeks prior to that, and then everything, loads of stuff from that 2 weeks before came about 2 weeks later as well, and it just added on at Warwick Castle. Good evening,
Yeah.
folks. I'm Gary Fields. I had seen spirits since I was 5 years old, sent spirits since I was 5 years old. On my path, I've had a lot of deja vu, a lot of disasters, seen a lot of images, cine film as I talk. I get bullet points talked to me by my team. I've got an amazing guide. Met my Reiki masters 15 years ago, and then since then they made sense of everything from all my past lives, going way back to zero, the days of like Christ times. So again, my past life does go back about 2,000 years. A lot of people don't see what mediums do
No.
behind the scenes. It's not just about doing events or readings. It's non-stop. So you are lucky to have a day off once, twice a month if you're lucky around things as well. So as I progressed, I became a Reiki master. And since then, my world has just gone tenfold, and that was about 15 years ago. I've developed traits from my amazing Reiki masters. They were a couple, so I've gained both of they've took a step back, and then I've gained a lot of their traits and trends of what they're about, and I've developed into a transfiguration medium. And
Yeah, you're brilliant at that. I've got footage. I've got
and,
proof.
and over the years, there's only one or two things that's not in the tool locker that I'd love. I'd love to do the drawing, the psychic artist drawing and that, but I've been told that'll come eventually. So I think in time, when I take the foot off the gas eventually, whenever that is, I think there are things that can still develop because we never stop learning. And a lot of people don't understand even how the universe works. And I know Reiki is the only known thing that scientists don't know. They've got no answer for it. So you've got a big smile on your face because you're like, we know how the universe works. We can tap in and work with different realms and different energies, helpers, healers, guardians, and it just goes tenfold. You know what I mean? It's when you've got to call your team in, and I know a lot of people struggling out there. So first thing, I do want to wish everybody a happy Christmas, but please reach out to people. I've raised thousands over the years with amazing people out there in the paranormal field and community. A lot of charity nights, readings to audiences, and I had an incident of I was on stage for an half an hour slot, and I was like, fine, and I was given a reading about this specific young lad that passed in a car crash, and nobody had taken it in the room. And I said, I'm not getting off the stage till somebody takes this in the room. And the lady at the back of the room was selling all the insect sticks and all the and she thought she wasn't part of the night, and things like that come about where she thought she wasn't part of the night, but she's in the room. The message is for her. You're part of the room. You're part of the charity night, because without people supporting it, and they're the things that drive you to get the message over. Then they're the little things that you test it to the limit as well sometimes, and that. That's
gosh, yeah.
like Dickie Bow and Suit and Tie and massive big events as well. And I just knew that message come over. And when it finally linked and connected, that you could just feel the relief in the room, that it was like, well done for sticking with it. But that, you are under a lot of pressure as well sometimes. And it's not about delivering. It's just, if nobody's going to take it, the artist party is asking them to step back.
That is a difficult one. I didn't know much about mediumship, and I saw a platform medium, and oddly enough, I remember everything about it. So she appeared on stage, and she said, "Oh, a group there," and she says, "You're from a military family, and there's somebody called William in the family, and this guy signed up when he was too young. He lied about his age, and then he died on the beaches." So no one took it, and everyone were like, "Oh, she's rubbish," and all that. 2 months later, my nephew was doing a school project. He had a look, and it was my family.
Wow.
It was that. But for me to remember all of it, it's odd, isn't it? And obviously hi, Emily. But obviously that's why I remembered it, isn't it?
It certainly is. And even, I always say the little things that really counts, something that person would only know, just a little bit of knowledge, or if someone called somebody like a nickname of Buttercup or something
that's
like
a big
that.
one. Yeah.
And that's a massive connection, because some people you do have in life, when you're on the plane, you do have your little knickknacks or nicknames, or something's happened that's been a funny moment that people don't remember, and that runs with it for the rest of your life. You might have had a nickname from a child, and it's changed as you've grown up into an adult, but certainly them little things of like the nail on the head is just amazing when you get to the bottom of things, and it's the clarification of just something like that. It's just like, wow, that's what we do, why we do.
Yeah, that is my sister though. Like, I think she's more spiritual than me. I've done development for, I lose track now, 8+ years, and I can communicate to some degree. And even about a few months ago, something touched me and actually felt it. I felt his long, horrible, cold finger rub right across my neck, which was like, oh, okay, get your hands off. It's like, wow, And also, somebody else touched me as well. I put some headphones on to do Estes, and it says, "Whatever you do, don't tap me on the shoulder." A minute later, something's tapping me on the shoulder. I knew it wasn't them. And that was it, isn't it? And the spirit is absolutely amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, I've had some amazing times, even in the paranormal field. Just, I do the readings, but I like live for the weekends to do my hobby, and I try and balance everything around going on the investigations either a Friday or a Saturday night. And, you're traveling there and you're getting information on the way down. Even before, I went to Tuckley Castle the weekend.
Awesome place, yeah.
And it just blew my mind away. On the way down, I'm about, I'd say it's an hour and a half from Cheshire, and I'm driving down there, and I'm about half an hour away. And then I'm getting the date, 1770s. And then that all comes out at the night around that period. So we got the period of the 1770s for the first session. And it's just like, wow, where's this coming from? It's like as if they're excited just to pull you in and unfold the energies and the layers and start working with that period.
Really is. I did it with Claire Evans, National Paranormal Investigator. She ran a night. I was invited to be a speaker there. So I went down there, and the minute I walked in, I picked up on an energy. And then as the night kept unfurling, I get more and more. And other bits of the group were linking into the same things. So then we went round to somebody had done a Ouija board, but a handmade one, because there wasn't a board there. And what came through that just backed up everything we said. But then I was picking up on this spirit gentleman standing near. I was saying what he was wearing. He said, "Too much information. You don't need to know that." and I went through a stage of finding too much out about them, and they didn't like it. But you just go through stages of development, don't you?
Yeah, but even when I was in the cafe at Tutbury Castle, I was stood on the counter, and there was nobody there, just me and Lisa there that was running the event as well, and
Yeah.
I just felt like I'd had one of my arms chopped off, my hands chopped off, and then stuff like that came through later on, even about the place and the period where they would like behead people or they'd put people on a stone, and I could see visions from the location of the story that they were telling me. I'm around here, I'm around there. And it was just like, they were just showing me the images and it was all tying in. Right at the end of the night, I just said, I'm seeing a wax seal. There's something about the wax seal.
Wow.
And then Lisa just went, well, turn the lights on, go there in the corner. There's the wax seal in the corner. And it's in a picture frame and all the wording's all framed and all that. And I could see the actual signing of that. And I could smell the seal being stamped in the seal.
Beautiful.
And it's just like, the random things that's out of the blue, because I always go in blind, which I always enjoy. So even when I go back a location 4 or 5 times with a medium, it just comes in and goes out. So there's not a lot that you do retain because you've got busy lives. So you try and backtrack on stuff that you've had 3 or 4 times there before, but you're not trying to link in with it. You're just trying to make sure that where you're up to is on the same lines or the same period or whatever. It's you just got to be on the ball with you don't want to give a certain specific energy if it's a totally different name coming through. You've just got to go with the name that's coming through, so you can't stick with things.
That's it.
So again, it's not about it's not about real, if you got like a postman and his name's Dennis, for instance, happy birthday, Dennis. Just thought I'd get that in. And again, it's just like you just get so many different layers walking through. And I always try and explain to people that there's been 50, 60 billion of energies lived before us. Them energies don't just disintegrate. They're around, they're floating around, and we're walking through and we're picking them up. And at the end of the day, we've had some amazing characters over the years. And I've had amazing characters that's tested me to the limit. I know
that. That's awesome. I got a random name. I went to a nunnery in Malvern. What an incredible place. And what Nat Lawrence has done, it's just brilliant. So there's this like nunnery. It's getting vandalised. People are breaking into it. Frequently the police are going there. So she takes it over.
Yeah.
She makes it so, she gets it safe so people can go and investigate there. And you can see a lot of the original features as well. And wow, incredible. It really is.
Even when I walked into Tutbury Castle, I was like nice and chilled out. I think I got myself a brew. And I thought, I'll have a little walk upstairs. And I just touched the door. And that was it. It just all went ping. Everything was... I come downstairs and I was doing that. I was just like, here we go. So you pick up on the mannerisms, emotions, ailments, what people have crossed with. And I just try and share what I receive. I always try and share what I receive. And it's about, if I could pick somebody and go, well, yeah, I can give you a sample of it. I can give you a little taster of it and channel the spirit through them, that they can see the visions as well when they're in the energy. And to mix and blend. So I try and get spirit to show them the images in their mind's eye of what I receive. And then it's like you're passing it down the chain with the energies, because that person you're working with, member of public or a member of the team, is getting the link and connection that I'm getting and sharing. So again, it can just go tenfold. I've had 3 or 4 people in one link at the same time, and I've had 3 or 4 or 5 people in trance and channeling at the same time as well, with different spiritual energies. And again, you've just got to run with it and ask your team. And then sometimes they'll go, no, close it down now. You've had 10 minutes, 15 minutes of that, move on. Time to do this, time to do that. And the noise we had on Saturday night at Tutbury in the main hall, you could hear the footsteps walking across. And I mean loud, you could hear the creaking. You could hear the creaking and the movement at the same time. It was just like, it was jaw-dropping, even in the dark. The little lights on, little torches on, all stood there, and you're going, Oh my!
Wow.
It's as if the spirit was just walking across the room, and you could hear it, and it was just like, but it was that loud. It was like somebody just walked into the room, and you're like, aye, aye. It was that loud. It was just unbelievable. Not
So beautiful.
the sensation in the room. You just feel the room coming alive.
That's brilliant. When you get things like that. Like the nunnery, we had so much happening, voices, sounds, everything, and getting actual voices through.
Again,
I think it depends who you investigate with as well,
oh, most
doesn't it?
definitely.
You've got to be open and you've got to be up for it, and then go for it.
I mean, even when we went to the school in Hereford, and we've been the George Jarvis
Oh,
School.
I'd love to
First
go there.
time I walked in there, I didn't want to go home. I was just like, leave me here all night, lock the building, just leave me in here, because there's
Yeah.
something going on. You know what I mean? And that was a similar building to my primary school. My first school was a
Oh
similar
wow.
ilk
Okay.
of that structure type of thing, in them days,
Yeah.
that period. And I think a lot comes back from that time as well, and I know we get message and we get images and we see things going on from other people or famous people on the other side that want to communicate with you, and you can have a lot of conspiracy theorists is Elvis dead, is this, that, and the other. There's just that much stuff that comes through. You've got to run with, especially on development classes, development nights. When you do a development night, I go in my Reiki room there. It just goes tenfold. I've virtually got a vortex behind me here, a positive portal behind me here in the kitchen. I've been on an investigation, and my guide's going, you need to protect this side of the wall at your house when I'm on an investigation out, because you can have a negative outside trying to drag the positive energy out, and you'll get all stuff like that people don't see. So even when you're doing something, that they'll try and negative energy or lower energy will try and scupper the good work and the white light that you carry, and the white light that you carry around your home, your property, your environment that you're happy with and safe with. You can get lower energies trying to upset the apple cart when you're 200 miles away. So again, I trust my team,
Yeah, but it is wonderful. I can vouch for you that first time I met you, your team was linking with mine, and you were freaking me out. So I was walking in rooms, and I've got 26 minutes of a video recording, me walking in a room going blah 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 blah. It's like, what the? Because then it went out onto your live as well, and I was in my tent. I thought, oh my god, what has actually gone out?
But you're sharing what I'm receiving. You're sharing
Yeah,
what's going on around us.
but you're so amazing that you do let other people witness things. Not many. I don't know any other mediums
And
who do that.
as you know, there's I always say seeing is believing.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
when I'm actually showing spirits, it's like I'm opening the veil around me, so they're blending with me. I always try and explain it, if you think of everybody around Halloween and they're excited for Halloween because the veil's the thinnest. I try and open the veil all around us in like a 10-foot or a room scenario situation, you know what I mean? So if I do go in a room, I'll try and close the door. I'll try and keep it within a certain 20, 30 foot where we can just work within that energies, and, and then I try and get that energy to come and work and blend and show that. I like it when they show their attire, their clothes. In Tutbury Castle there the other night, we had the roll neck up. You could see all the thing. We could see the silver armour of the gentleman that was guarding the door.
Wow.
And I'm describing it because my team's telling me the visitation of what my guide and my team's looking at, and at the same time I'm explaining to the pub. Well, it wasn't public; it was a team event. I'm explaining to the team event, and I was getting, I've got a scar here with one energy, and then I was like having a pimple, or I've got certain, I had a monobrow and everything with one gentleman that came through. So even though you're in the energy, I can't see the energy in front of me because I'm channeling it, but I can feel the features.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean?
Fantastic.
And even my team will tell me the dreams that people are going to get that night, because they would go, if you're open to receive, my team would be talking to that spirit and energy, and around somebody I'm working with, I'll say, well, okay, if we've had 20, 30, 40 minutes of this, can you give this lady or that male person that's here that's experienced that, can you give them that vision of who you are tonight without scaring them? Because I always try and explain to people, if you're open to receive, and the more you can handle, the more they'll work with you. So certain information I've had and received, I can't give personal stuff. You know, as again, I wouldn't, they always call it leaky mediumship. I wouldn't go randomly walk up to somebody and give information.
Oh, no.
But what I'm saying is, I get that all the time. And I always find the hardest, even doing readings, when to me, the lady things, it's too personal.
Yes,
from a male point of view, I wouldn't, you know, I mean, like sort of miscarriages and stuff like that. You know, I'm a dad. You know, I love children, and it's hard to see sometimes like that. But what my team have asked them to do with things like that is show me an image of somebody just being cradled like that, so I understand that scenario, a situation that somebody's experienced or gone through. I don't have to mention in it. I can just say I can see somebody that's being cradled, and they know where I'm coming from. You know what I mean?
That's
so
right.
I always ask for it in a nice personal touch, little things like that. Do you know what I mean?
That's beautiful, because you're offering comfort rather than being more graphic. And you know,
it's not about passing of the child; it's about the comfort of the energy that's around you all the time, because they're not leaving you. Do you know what I mean? So you ask your team to give you a symbolism or an image or just something that works with you. So I always explain to people, you know, come into the left of your male, come on the female, work on the right side, especially around the public and members of the team as well. I always try and get them so you get a little bit of professionalism around what we're doing, and that works comfortable for them, that they're not out their comfort zone. Do you know what I mean? I've sent you pictures, Jackie. I can't share certain stuff.
Yeah, that's right. They're amazing pictures. So the imagery,
But the thing is, you know, I've been into a building there, and certain circles have opened things up from the 1860s, and I've done an investigation in a room, explained all the spiritual, paranormal stuff that's going on around that they've opened, and then I've actually done a development class the next lesson and explaining, because I don't want to do the same thing twice.
Yeah.
And I've gone, I'll show you what's actually in the room. And I've opened my eyes basically when I've finished the transfiguration, and I've had 15 people all cowered in the corner when I've actually shown them 3 different levels of energy that's through, because that's what's Sophia about. People don't realise what they're drumming up when they're messing around, or they don't understand what they're working with. And over the years, if you think of all them layers that people have messed from 1860s onwards in that building, in that room, you know, there's the kitchen sink, you know, and it's not about being too heavy. Sometimes, you know, somebody said to me at the time that the energy was channeling, what's your name? I said, no, mate, it doesn't work like that. Stop the session. I said, it doesn't work like that. I said, I'm showing you, I'm in control. I can get this gone. I can move this forwards. I can put this energy down with my team. It's not about me. It's about the balance. You've got to have the positive. You've got to have the negative. But it's not like what you see on the telly.
Gosh, no.
You know what I mean? And I can honestly, safely say, do you know what I've got into now at the moment? Bigfoot.
Have you? Oh, brilliant.
Because, do you know why? Because I think there's certain trends and traits around the paranormal field we work in. I can just see 1 or 2 things that I do that can help develop that.
Awesome.
The big, I could go, you know, the Alaska one they're doing now. I'm like, get me over to Alaska.
Brilliant.
I'll show you a little bit more. With technology now and today's, I can explain the way things have expanded. From, say, the Victorian days when they done paranormal stuff, or they done seances.
Yeah, that's right. With the ectoplasm question mark.
The Chinese have developed like a cardboard sheet, which is like, it looks like a television. They just put it over you, but you can see through it, so you disappear. But if they can do that in technology now, they showed that 2 or 3 days ago, or 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I went, as with the Bigfoot and the Sasquatch, why can't it cloak itself up, wrap itself around the energy? Is it spiritual? I just want to do a little bit more in that field, and
We just don't know, do we? And also you've got like the people with the dodgy photos, like Paranormal as well.
Oh,
And it's like the people who've seen them, they believe, and then the others don't. And there's a lot of similarities between the communities, aren't there?
yeah.
Even though it's all under the big umbrella, Paranormal.
Obviously, the pareidolia side of it, where you overanalyze and look into it. Yeah, I think realistically, if you see or sense and you're there, and you're seeing and sensing that within the picture of around that energy, or a shiver of an energy, or a shift of an energy, it's just run with it. Just you run with it, and then you can experience that. Go back the next time. And I always say to people, go back 4 times, go in different seasons. That's what you really need to do to get that field within the veil of the spring, the summer, the autumn, and the winter. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
A lot of people out there don't realise you shouldn't be doing paranormal investigations January, February, because the veil's the thickest.
Oh, wow. No, I didn't know that.
I don't
know if anybody knows that who's watching, but I certainly didn't know.
But that's only what I've been passed on as,
that's right.
I'm not, it's the weightest, it's the thickest part from the sun and the moon and all the distance of the day and the light and all that. But it's the most weighted time of the year around.
But isn't it also people's attitudes? Like people can feel really down, and like there's less energy to give on a January, February. If you don't like the winter.
Well, I woke up last week and I thought, like, it feels like the middle of the night, and it was like 8 o'clock in the morning. It was 7:30 in the morning. It was that dark.
It's horrible, isn't it?
And all I'm doing now is I'm counting down till the 21st, and I'm like, give me the winter solstice, the night to draw it out then, and I'm like, I'm on a roll. I've got a big spring in my step. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's grim when it's just getting darker and darker. And I come downstairs. I usually start about 8 o'clock, and it's dark, and it's like, oh no, I don't want to put my light on to start work. So there I am, sitting with my laptop on, and trying to put passwords in, and it's dark. You're just going with the light from the monitor, but I just don't want to succumb and put my light on. I'm just like that. I don't like the light much anyway, to be fair. But yeah.
So are we doing on any questions out there?
Yes, I've got a lovely one from Jason Harris. I didn't want to interrupt you.
That's okay, sorry.
So, no, it's all good. What is your definition of astro traveling?
Well, in relation to, I personally myself, I do work with a blind white witch, a lovely lady, and her partner. Her partner sees dark energies.
Oh, interesting.
Because obviously he was drawn into that side of it years ago.
Yeah.
And he's come away from it, but he knows he can walk in a room and go, oh, second floor up there, weighted energy, needs moving, needs to be gone. And my blind witch and myself, we can go off traveling, we can go off healing. Wow. I've done things where a lot of people, again, we've done police things when the cases have been closed, not when it's been open, when it's been closed. So the family have still not had closure. And we see the visitations and we see the stuff. And one of them was in Australia.
Wow.
And I think we was about 20 foot away from actually where that was found.
Oh my gosh.
In and around what we were seeing and picking up and sensing. My friend, she lost a good friend, and that was on the land of Coombe Abbey. And we think she's in the water. And that was 20 years ago. I described in this room, in my back room here, before I ever went to Coombe Abbey, I described the pub they left.
Oh,
I give the information of the pub they left, and she'd not told me that. So with the astral projecting and all that, it's just like when you're in the zone, if you empty your daily thoughts of your mind, you're open to receive. So when you're nodding off in bed, you can say, well, sometimes your team will take it off, but if you've been pulled back too quick. So if there's something gone on or there's a misdemeanor, I've had an image of somebody that looked like somebody of a friend. And I've been startled when I've gone there to help spiritually on my travels.
Oh, wow.
But that's a test again to say, if you can handle it, we'll give you more.
Yeah, that's right.
So when you get somebody had a trapped arm or in a field or a hedgerow or something, or come out of a car or off a motorbike, I can't remember. And when I got there, it was somebody, I was like, oh my God, where this is Joe Blogs.
Yeah.
And when I've pulled myself back then spiritually, back into me sleep state and woken up. And then I've gone, all right, I understand why that's gone on. And about 2 or 3 days later, I've got drawn back in to physically help again the situation to get to the bottom of it.
Wow.
And that person was rescued, and somebody else, I'm trying to think, somebody else had come in spiritually and like pushed them away, moved them away before I was fully at that point, if you get what I mean. So I travelled through, seen what was going on, observed, and come back within the astral projection side of it.
Yeah.
And again, you're thinking, you're backtracking. So when you start backtracking, don't overanalyze things. Run with it. A couple of nights later, I got the full image. I got somebody else, Earth Angel or whatever, somebody else who's gone and done the rescuing side of it. So I've just popped into the zone, think of a firefighter or something, observe what's going on, and then I've been dragged back out because I thought it was somebody I knew. Do you know what I mean? So if you can imagine a firefighter going to somebody's house that they knew, bang, no, you sit back, this is... do you know what I mean? You'd be in the back of the engine. Your team would be doing it. You know, there's a time and a place that you can deal with. Astral planing and astral projecting. It's. I think there's no end to it, because I always say to people, and I don't preach what I do. I always say, if you want to get in the zone, 10-minute meditation, balance and cleansing, align your chakras, get drawn to a meditation. The link to the key on the other side of the realm is through meditation, and then you get more into it. Then you can get emptying your own daily mind in a daily routine, and you get into the zone. So when you're in the zone and you're doing it on autopilot, it's like being an assessor. You know what I mean? If you're assessing a taxi driver, your taxi driver's picking 500 people up a week, so you can't tell him how to be a taxi driver when he's already doing it. Yeah. But within the, you know what I mean? So again, sometimes you've got to take a step back and let the raw side of things come through and run with the raw things. But to see somebody that's not had closure of a case that was closed 10 years ago, I walked up to this place in North Wales and they didn't tell me anything about it or what I was there for. And I was halfway up this little hill, and I was going towards a gamekeeper's cottage at the back of this land, on private land. Halfway up, I just went, whoa. And I was on my knees. And they went, what's the matter? I said, I've just been smashed from behind. And they went like that. The girl instantly, that was friend of a friend, she just burst out crying. And I turned and I went down the left-hand side, the river. It's been in the bend of the river for that long. Everything's washed away. But obviously not found.
Wow.
So if you and they're the things that take you by surprise sometimes. Do you know what I mean? So I felt like, I've been physically hit, but I feel I need to go down on my knees. And they're like that, you know. And then you're looking at someone and they've got tears in their eyes, and you're like, why? What's going on? What's this relate to? Do you know what I mean? And then they, you know, at the end of the day, they still didn't tell me. It was still another hour and a half in the cottage, 2.5 hours in the cottage, you know, and it was just little things like that, you know. And sometimes you can see visitations of what actually has gone on, and it's been quite horrific. Or the Saxons, or
oh gosh, yeah.
You know, you go to North Wales and you've got all the Celts, you've got everybody fighting across land, and I would say Stirling Castle, and you've got I would say respectfully the mad jocks, and they'll fight tooth and nail regardless, won't they? You know what I mean? But
I went to Culloden.
Wow.
Yeah. Luckily, I didn't really pick up on a lot, luckily, but obviously you feel the, you know, bit of the energy, and oh my gosh. When you actually see it and you see the two lines facing each other. Oh my God.
Even in Stirling, I could see the battles back in the day. And you've got the battles back in the day, And I walked up to a lad, a very good paranormal investigator, and I just stood there like that. He went, "What are you doing?" I said, "I don't know. We're in the middle of on the castle land." I said, "I'm like that," and he's like, "What are you doing?" I said, and he's like, and he's doing the same. I said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I just feel I'm at knife point like this, and we both can't move."
Oh,
And
wow.
he went, "I've seen that before. I've heard that." Next day, he come up to me and he went, "Yeah, Gary, it's in the book of the castle." And I was just like, "Oh my word." He said 2 fellas at a standoff and he was there for about 2 hours, wouldn't move. And it was dated and listed. But when you're walking and you're going, "Why am I doing what I'm doing? What's all that about?" And you haven't got the answers instantly. And then he sent me a messenger, and I was like, the next day, when I was obviously, I think it was by Dean Castle and all that. And he said to me, "I knew I'd read that before. I'd not read it." And he said, "There you go." Because he was taking us on VIP tours up in Scotland and everywhere. And I was just like, that is just mind blowing. So again, it's re-looping history, and you're walking through a re-loop of what's going on that spot, on that land. If we went there 4 weeks later, that might not have happened. It might have been in the end of May, specifically for a week or two. That energy's re-looping what's done at that time, at that period. It's just you know, you haven't got the answers instantly. You haven't got all the answers instantly. You just got to go, okay, next, give me something next. You might get part of a message.
Yeah.
I've had a message I've had a couple of messages for about 15 years, 10 years hanging. And I'm like, I'm never going to meet the family members, you know, there's a couple of famous people. And I'm like, it's so frustrating sometimes, you know. But they're giving you that information for something. It's not just gone away. It's in room 101. It's not disappeared, but you never know. And a mind-blowing story. I was up in Southport and I was doing a reading. And I was said to the lady, I said, "Your mother's famous." She went, "Yeah, she's famous. She's a famous medium." I said, "Right, okay." I said to her straight away, I said, "You got links with the blind beggar in London?" And she went, "I haven't. It was me mum. They'd paid them to move out of London, not tell the story." And she was a famous medium. She was a famous medium up here.
Oh my gosh.
Back in the 60s. But I'm telling the daughter, the mother has passed away now. She's passed away, the famous medium. And I'm telling her, and I'm saying, "You've got links with the blind beggar." And she's like, "I can take everything you're saying. It's not me, it's my mum." And the family had been paid off to come out of the district and ushered out. But the depth of it, and that's why I get so drawn to places, and I'm like, I've got to go with blind beggar. I've got to go the one in the Ragged School in London. I've still been dragged there. I'm still spiritually being called there. So again, it's like, take me on my path, take me when, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be, you know, timing wise. So like Tutbury Castle, 10 years I've been waiting to go there. And then all of a sudden, I'm going back in April and I'm going back this summer, and it's just amazing. But it's just been.
I think I'm going twice in Feb and maybe once in January, something like that. So yeah, it's quite crazy.
You know, and seeing things sometimes, and I always try and pass it on to the team now. So if I do any magazines or I do anything, I try and keep a step back from things and just say, "Jackie will tell you what happened on the invest. We had a great first summer." But it's not about that, Jack. It's about certain things are overwritten in the past, and it can have a detrimental effect with, you know, that's not what we said. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's it. Like, I was in the Daily Mirror, a few months ago, because I was with Tony Ferguson, went to a cave in Girvan in Scotland, and that we did lone vigil. So I was there. I said, "Can you throw something?" Something was thrown, and the headlines: "Ghost hunters shocked." No, I said, "Thank you very much." You know, and my friend watched it and she said, "You sound really posh there." I weren't bothered, you know, I was in a cave on my own and something was thrown, you know, I've asked for it.
Caught you on a good day. Do you know what? In 15 years, Jackie, I can honestly, safely say I've only ever seen 3 things thrown.
Have you? Wow.
Yeah. Because I feel it's not part of the placebo with what I'm looking for or in and around. And as I say, if something moves, great, bonus.
Yeah.
You know, and times are changing. I mean, it's not very often, as I mentioned earlier on, with that we're getting people want the table tipping, or people want things being thrown. They want different dimensions of different
that's
things.
Right.
I've got people out there that's been behind me for a long, long time, and they take a back step. They don't get involved. They monitor. They do a lot of like your invigilators on your systems and all that. So anything I do or I'm in and around, they make sure that everything's up to speed in and around me as well. Where they're, you know what I mean? They've always got the good intent of everything you're doing. You're putting the good intent in, so they want the good intent around the people that's around you as well. You know what I mean? But it's certain things that, you know, my friend sent a tweet out that somebody was being a bit like that one day, and they just stitched them up in two. They just bit straight away, and I was like, "We're not here to play games, okay? No problem." But that's how easy it is. We need to protect ourselves all the time against certain people. It's doing things for the wrong reasons. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's shocking, isn't it? Paranormal. You just got to surround yourself with decent people.
I give information that was on. I'd done an invest 2 weeks prior, and 2 weeks later it was on the telly, and things that I'd said on my live feed were on that show.
For God's sake, no.
So it's just like, do you know what? If that's what you enjoy, carry on, crack on. If that's your thing, crack on. But that's where it gets a bit hard, and that gets a bit disheartening. That all the good work and all the good intent that you put in, you know, you don't travel 500-mile round trip to do a house clearance. I've done a house clearance in September, the end of September. A little bit of help with fuel, grateful, fantastic. Put a lot of fuel in myself, fantastic, no problem with that. The couple have not slept in the house for 6 months through the night. They've lived in the house and not slept all the way through. Moved on what I had to move on. So next day they said, "Oh, I would like to thank you." Took me out for a nice steak or whatever, nice meal. And I was like, "That's great." And then I got back to my van and I'd lost my tooth. So from the time of me putting my tooth in my pocket, because I don't eat with my tooth in, with the false tooth, and I've got to find another £300 now for that tooth. So that trip and helping spirit is like £465, £470 that people don't see of what you're doing. I've got the money. I've stashed the money.
Wow.
I've missed my appointment in October because I was that tired at half term, and I can't get back in till February now. But they're the little things about what I'm saying is what people don't see.
Yeah, that's right.
How you moving an energy on or helping somebody sleep through the night, they'll try and get their little digs back at you in one way or another, you know. And when it starts coming down to finances, that's when it's tough going on your own. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do a lot on my own. You know,
but the little darlings test me to the limit, and that's what I'm saying. They do test you.
Yeah. I don't know. I've got to work it out, the connection thing.
Roll on February when I get my new shiny tooth back.
Oh, bless you. Oh. I've got a couple of questions then. One's from Carl. Oops, it's gone.
Right away.
Here we go. Have you got a place you went that was so overpowering you had to get out?
No.
No,
because as I mentioned, my Reiki masters before, we have links with past life. My first visitation showed me virtually, if you could see the Scottish widow lady, Joan of Arc, fully behind me in manifestation. She brought that through for me to see. So when you're seeing spirit, and I'm talking full on spirit, as if they're living next to you to experience, that's the strength that my Reiki masters, mind-blowing, the things that they could do, as give you a taster of what's in and around and out there to work with. And I'd say walked Shrewsbury Prison in there the other week, and when we've been fighting all the little bugs and everything since about October, you're tired, you've been doing your readings all week and this, that and the other, you know, you need a bit of a second wind. So I walked in the building, I was like, ooh, I had to stop, and I thought, pain here, twinge there, go away, take it away, thank you very much. And then I got a member of the public and I channeled a very low energy in and around that evening, I went, you tried to strike me through, didn't you? And you could see it smiling and all that as well.
Wow.
So, but sometimes you've got to come away and shake them energies off. You can't let them be overpowering. You've got to shine through it. You've got to come home. You've got to balance. You've got to cleanse. You've got to leave the energies there. You've got to make everything shut down. So again, when you're at your lowest ebb, that's when they'll stretch you to the limit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So again, when you've got to be on the ball. You've got to be on the ball in and around, work with your team, make a phone call, scan this area for me, make sure nothing's come back, make sure everything's, you know, you've got to double check and triple check sometimes, because they will play the games. They will play the games. Like that time I was on an invest and somebody was trying to move me positive portal. They'll just test you to the limit. When you're at a low ebb, that's the time. And if I'm ever tired, and I'm not very often, I'm sharp or I'm responsive backward, but sometimes the wrong place, the wrong time, it's like I've got to be bang. Do you know what I mean? And I'm not a sharp person. I'm not disrespectful to anyone, but you know, if you're dealing with all the kitchen sink and then someone gives you an information or something that's totally like bizarre, randomly and way out off the mark or off the cuff of what you're dealing with and working with, it's like, oh, hang on, I need to deal and cope and suss this out and work with this and move this on and get to the bottom of this. So again, it's like being a paranormal detective or Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah, fascinating. Okay, you know. So I've got another question then from
great couple of questions.
Jackie Smith. Right? So where do you believe evil spirits are in the spirit world? Interesting.
Where there's positive, there's negative. I always say, if you think of the angel on this side, lower energy on this side, they can be pecking away either side of you. So they can be that close. The demonic energies that I've had in and around, they can pop up at any time. They can show themselves as children. They can show themselves as what you don't expect them to be. You've got to work the inner spirit. You've got to work the inner energy that's going on in and around that. You've got to ask your team. You've got to ask 5 or 6 times. You've got to ask your angels, your guardian, your team, your helpers, your workers, your watchers, you know, the gatekeepers of the land and the places we go to. I didn't introduce myself when I went to Tuckby Castle. I stopped my van. I couldn't get through the gate. They wouldn't let me through the gate till I introduced myself. So spiritually, I've got to say, I am Gary. I'm just here for communication tonight. I'll introduce myself as like a meeting. So it's having a meeting before you're even on the property, on the land.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So again, with lowered energies and all that, it's just like we just never stop learning. So you could have a positive that's showing itself as a negative. You can have a negative trying to show itself as a positive. You've got to work the inner soul or the inner energy out, or the battery pack of, you know, I'm doing transfiguration in the day.
Wow.
In the daylight, and describing energy in Lincolnshire at the RAF base in the pub, the Bluebell pub, I think it's called.
That's brilliant.
And the people on the live feed that's watching, they're seeing the transfiguration in the day and they're taking screenshots. I've got pictures here. I can't share them. Do you know what I mean? Because it's too graphic.
Yeah.
The gunshot wound I was describing, you can see the gunshot wound.
God, no.
But
wow.
That's what I'm saying. Spirit showing themselves through the veil through me.
You just kind of think they're showing you as a whole, though, don't you? You know, you don't think you're going to see that. And wow.
But every medium works in different ways as well.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm more than grateful to learn in and around any other medium. When you get mediums that you work with, that you link, connect, and you get that bond, and you know the people out there that make you buzz, and you buzz off each other.
Oh,
and
definitely, yeah.
And that is amazing, you know.
That's just a biggie, isn't it? Yeah, I've got a question from Janice.
Yeah.
Then, what do you do with the information you're given from spirit, but can't get it confirmed?
What I do every time you see me go on a location, I've always got a pad.
Yeah, I've seen it.
I've got a stack of pads. I must have.
In fact, I've got a copy somewhere, because when we went to Warwick, you wrote all the notes, and I ended up with them.
Well, there you go.
I did, yeah. I don't know where they are, mind
They
you.
weren't meant for me. Do you know
Yeah,
what
I
I
got
mean?
them. Yeah, because originally we were going to compare notes about what everyone got. That's why we took notes, and then I did a write off and I sent it off. But yeah, I remember
But
now. I forgot about that.
but that'd be good if we go back to Warwick Castle. You can bring that pad. I mean, we're
Yeah,
just talking about the Ragged School. It's still there,
fascinating.
but I'm still drawn to it.
Yeah,
And you won't compare notes. My guide is quite similar to like a Tibetan Mongol warrior.
wow.
That neck of the woods, he's about 8 foot tall. But my Reiki Master's guide still comes along and protects me as well. I mean, I've been on an investigation where that's the picture in my back room.
Wow.
So that's in my back room that now. That when you get your protectors around you and they're showing themselves, to stop the session. So if I've got somebody that's in the audience or somebody on the event that's going, I can see and describe like my guide. I know my guide's going, let's go and have a tea break. The session's too weighted. The sessions, there's something about to happen that we don't need it to unveil here. There's a time and a place. You know what I mean? So in and around that, where you're talking around the negative.
Gosh.
This is some of the captures we've had over the years.
Wow.
I've actually channeled that.
Wow.
And that was on location as well.
So strange.
But this is what I'm saying. A lot of these energies will get you to drive and do stuff. All your mass murderers and the different energies have got different drives. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So again, when I was at a certain location the other week, I was just like, no negative tonight. See you later. Just give me little old Billy or give me great granny or whatever. You know what I mean? Give me somebody. Some nights you need that. And what you'll find you'll do is when you repel and push back the lower energies and the negative energies, the positive energies will come through, but you'll go through that phase where you could have 6 months of the weighted energies just constantly bombarding you, and you're like, no, not tonight. No, not tonight.
Yeah.
No, not tonight. And again, I'm in this frame of mind. And then some nights you're like, right, come on then. Where you're up to, what's going on? What do I need to know about what's going on now? And again, we never stop learning, and that's what I love about this. That's why I do what I do.
It's fascinating. I've only just kind of stepped into it the last 8 years.
This was a famous capture. Oh, it's gone. Gone back about 30 pages there.
Oh, bless you.
I'll try and find it. Say that again.
It is fascinating what there's, what you can find out and see and experience. And then you're just so surprised by things sometimes, aren't you?
Well, you can go to a location, you can describe a couple or a family, and then you can hear like the people at work there and they're giggling and whatever. You're like, what they giggling at? What? And they go, oh, it's in the Great Hall. When you go up the banister, there's a big picture there of the people you've just described and the families there from 1745 or whatever. You know what I mean? It's just like absolutely bizarre.
I remember when we walked around Bosworth.
Yeah.
So we went around Bosworth Fields, and there you were, and you were doing a live, and basically you were saying stuff, and then the next signpost said exactly that. My gosh.
So I'm channeling the spirit here, and somebody's called me name to go like, come on, Gary, we're going for a brew. So that's the actual energy I'm channeling, and this is me here. But obviously, it's been like a split second where.
Wow.
That's been.
It's brilliant to get the photo, though, isn't it?
Yeah, and then obviously sometimes we've got the more.
Awesome. I'll have to send you that footage I've got of you if I can find it.
But that's the time I always support stuff like that. I went through a phase of doing the art, my friend doing the art for me.
Oh, bless you. Yeah, and that's still relevant today.
Yeah.
Isn't it? It really is. More so than up. Like you hear it today about things happening, and like, just try and be nice. You're supposed to be into the spiritual world.
Yeah.
And there's so many nasty people, aren't there?
I love this one though as well, was where I described the energy. My mate drew this lady in the dark. Hold on this side. We make through the lady in the dark here.
Yeah.
Member of the public took the picture on the other side.
Oh my gosh.
And that's the energy I was describing. And that was
That,
all in the dark. So that's great
fascinating.
validation what you're describing. My friend had drew the psychic artist impression, and a member of the public took a picture, and we've gone, right, come on, we're going for a tea break, and we put all the information together and gone, that's who Gary was describing. There's the lady.
Wow.
Your mate's gone there. There's the artist picture, and you're just going, you can't buy that. You can't buy that validation. That is just
That's amazing. It really is.
And they're the things that seem to go on, and they're the wow moments. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're the wow moments.
It's just too fascinating, really. And that, validation like that, it's just, yeah, it's there, isn't it? Andy Tom's asked a good question which kind of fits within this. So, have you ever worked with a phony medium, and how long did it take to expose them?
You wouldn't. Let's put it this way: you wouldn't think who it was that actually threw something.
Oh God, really? Yeah.
And they were off the telly.
Oh God, well, yeah. We know some of them, don't we?
But again,
yeah.
And that was only one of the third times I've seen something thrown. So I've seen something thrown physically, and the third time was somebody, which was like, I'd say I was jaw dropped. I was speechless.
Yeah,
they'd done it for me. I just wanted to go home, and I'm 250. I'm 250 miles away, and I'm like, don't. I've just paid. We've just paid for the weekend away here. A couple of train tickets down south, and
wherever. Yeah.
Why have you done that?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? For a response on the telly, and you're like, why have you just done that? Do you know what I mean?
It's such a waste of time. I hate it. What is the point? There isn't any.
But if people are making their money and people are doing what they're doing, good luck to how everybody wants to make their money or their living. Just good luck to them. I've had people come up to me and ask, how do you get on Amazon Prime? How do you get on? How do you do this? How do you do that? And then they're running, and good luck to them. Great. That's your back. Crack on. If you're enjoying it, you enjoy it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's amazing. And in a way that if that's people's makeup and that's how they want to work, you just got to let them run to it, but you just stay away from them. So, I've had people inviting me here, there, and everywhere, and I'm like, no, sorry. And people are like, oh, that's a great place. That's a great location. You can do that, and I'm like, I'd rather go and sit in an old terraced house like we did in Nottingham or Mansfield Way, the railway house.
I've been there, yeah. I went there when it first opened.
And there was 3 or 4 of us in there. And do you know what? It was a cold, cold night, but it wasn't cold in the house, and it had no plaster on the wall.
Yeah, I went quite early on, yeah.
The energies were just boosted in there. It was just an uplifting night. Then I always say there's a time and a place for everything, and there's a time and a place where you don't need to be around certain people. And when you work out what's going on or whatever's doing what they're doing, just like, see you later. Got better things to do. Better things to do every time.
No. If there was anyone, I just can't be bothered with them. It's just a waste of everyone's time. If people want to do entertainment, do it. Just keep away from them.
I've been on a stage on a paranormal night on a theatre.
Yeah.
And I'm giving information. And God bless the lady. She had somebody through on the board that was a family member. She wanted to stick with it for ages. And I just had to say to the team, you need to call break. And they went on the radio. They went, you never do that, Gary. And I was like, yeah, there's a time and a place. So I said to the lady, I just said to the lady, I said, everyone's paid for a paranormal night. Come to my house, I'll do you a free reading.
Yeah.
And we'll continue that. But there's a time and a place. So I'd done a free reading for that lady about 2 weeks later. But there's a time and a place for certain energies. Again,
that's the lady, right, yeah.
She was over the moon to have a family member communicate with her. And I had to say, and they were like, I can't believe Gary's called for a break now. And what's all that about? I said straight away to the team, put the boards away. We don't need them. There's enough energy going on in here.
Yeah.
we'll change the atmosphere. We'll change, we'll just boost to something else as
Yeah.
well. But
Yeah.
I'll make sure that
Something
lady
else.
went home happy. And I said to her, brilliant, fantastic part of the session. I said, but there's unfinished business. Come back and see me in a few weeks' time when you've got a date and I've got a date. We're sparing a diary, and we'll carry on with that person. And so that was like they had like a double night out of it in the end. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's it.
The reading as well.
I had a random experience like that because it's my dad's birthday. So we went to Ilkeston Fair with my sister and we met up. And as we left, they played his funeral song. So you're at the fair and you're just about to part company with your sister, goodbye, and then they play his funeral song, which is like really freaky. And I said, "Oh, Dad, I'll get the cat ball out when I get home," but I couldn't find it. So then the next night I was at Derby Jail. So I got the cat ball out. There he was, and I knew it was him because you go, "Is it you?" And that's it. It will come on. Like he's like responding before I even get the question out of my mouth. It says, "Wait a minute, Dad, come back tomorrow night." So then I did a podcast with Mickey York, and the damn cat ball were going all night, and it's it's my dad.
I love Mickey. I love Mickey.
It's absolutely awesome. Yeah, I've got Rich here. Oh, so seen you so many times. Your best ever. Your transfiguration, stand out alone, the best that never ceases to amaze me. So, yeah. I really screwed that up. Sorry about that, Rich. Tongue twat.
Go on, Jack. Take 2. Go for it.
I don't know why. Because I don't screw up usually. Yeah, I've seen many transfiguration mediums in my time. Gary, stand out alone, the best, never ceases to amaze me. See, it's so easy to read, but I don't know what happened there.
as well with simple things as well. It's again, there's a time and a place. There's a time and a place to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? And I will ask my guide, I'll ask my team what we're running with. Give us a nudge in the right direction. What do we need to do next? You know what I mean? And sometimes you can get just your pendulum out and do yes and no questions for people in and around as well.
Well, I had a job issue. I have a job issue, but I had a job issue and I was sort of going for one or something. And I said to my friend, "Is it yes or no?" I asked a question in my head and I messaged her, "Get your pendulum out." And, she got the answer. And there's like 3 other questions I asked and she was right, So if I need a pendulum answer, I'll go to my friend and she'll sort it for me. But it's there.
But the thing is as well, Jess, if you buy your own pendulum, wash it in cold water and then just run with yes and no's.
Yeah,
just run with yes and no's.
Yeah, I've got pendulums. It's the first tool I actually used, to be fair.
And do you know what I love as well? Being around other people where they're pagan, the Wiccan, and I get part of their teams coming in and having a little nosy and a talk and a work with me as well. So I get little characters like Morrigan coming in. She has crows in her hair.
Oh wow, fascinating!
So they're like they're the energies and earth. Land energies that's in and around you, but the likes of that lady there alone, she's fantastic. She'll support you, but don't ever cross her.
Yeah, that's right.
Do you know what I mean? So again, it's that full respect, and when you've got energies around you there that other people have got their religions and their faiths, so you listen to what's going on, what they're saying and what they're doing, and obviously loads of people got all the lovely shops open and all that, and they're doing really well and everything like that, and you listen to what they're saying as well, because you get trends and traits of their team coming for a little scan over this side what we work in the white light, and vice versa as well. So my team will have a little nudge out, and it is an instance of what I was saying about being a helper and a healer. That's my path. I'll be driving in my car or my van and I'll be going somewhere and an ambulance will go past and I'll say, "See you later, guide, pop that way, come back when you're ready." So I'll put my guide in the ambulance and I'll just say, make sure they're all right or support them as much as you can. And then I'll be off another 2-hour journey somewhere and then I'll be going. I won't get information regarding that because I'm not linking in, but I'll know my guide's done and supported as best out there that he can, which is things that, as again, people don't see what we do, and my path is I'm a helper, I'm a healer. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And you've got to think of the main man back to day one when they were born. That's all they were, a helper and a healer. the same scenario.
I know I had a trouble. Somebody came to me once, and it wasn't around here, and I did put you in touch with them, and you've sorted them out like remotely, which is brilliant.
But I can't even remember that, Jack. I know.
It was, oh my gosh, it was just not long after Warwick, to be fair. So yeah, we're talking a while ago, but yeah, and that's it. You help so many people out, don't you?
Yeah, and a lot of the time with the land of whatever's going on the land, people could have disputes with a farmer or a driveway, or if somebody lives quite remote or something, they can have such a simple thing that something's upset them at the local newsagents, or somebody's had words with them, and their spiritual team or the energies that they carry around, they can have a little niggle with themselves as well. And it is like Hollyoaks. It is like the little ups and downs with things going on, where you're just going to have to get the energies and you bang their heads together going, you go and do what you do, and you go and do what you do. Just leave everything settled and balanced, because harmony, it needs to be, there's going to be more harmony in the world. And I don't know what we are now, about 20 days away from the new year, and bring it on, roll it in. I'm not looking to waste my days, but can't wait for the new year to come in and the new energies that's waiting to.
It does feel a weird time at the moment. Like when I started, I said so many people I know were like struggling either with people fighting illness or losing people, or even on Facebook, people are losing the pets and everything, and it seems more so than normal, unless Facebook's just sharing that sort of thing to me. It's so sad.
What I would put out there is, I take myself 4 natural herbs a day and stick to anything the best you can is more natural. The more natural things that you can use and get, the better. And it's amazing for your cough, colds and remedies. There's stuff's out there. Stick to your wives' tale stuff and that, and it's amazing. I done a concoction there for the chest. I put some garlic in it and loads of fresh honey and stuff like that. I had 2 tablespoons full of it. I made a jar like that. I had to throw the jar away the other day because I only needed maybe two teaspoons of it. The next day, maybe another 2, and that was it. It was done, dusted. But I knew I was going to come down with it. That's why I was making it in the first place.
Oh wow, yeah.
So again, you're just going to go, hang on, I'm going to end up with a tickly thing. But the worst one that always gets me is a sore throat. Can't stand them. That's when I'm tired. That's when I'm flawed. So that's where I need to boost my energies back up. So if sometimes I'm on 10%, this time of year, it's just like, roll on 20 days off. I've got Wednesday, I'm off for 20 days, and then
awesome,
I recharge. So I've got roll on, I think the 20th, so 20th for 19 days, 20 days, something like that. So again, I've got 2025 diary already. Somebody said, what have you got that for? I'm into November already of 2024, so I've got bits, but again, it's all about the balance.
Yeah, that's right. I'm already getting quite booked up. I've got at least 4 trips away where I've got to put a dog in kennels already.
Yeah.
And that's without, anything else coming up, and oh no, just a thought. It's like,
do you know what I was Googling it could be miles away in my own little world, bit of 5 minutes on my hand. You know what I was actually Googling today? Another building I'm drawn to.
Where's that?
The Eagle's Nest in Austria.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'm not going to go into too much stuff, but that's where I was off visitating today. I had about 5 minutes to myself and I was off. And
Have you heard of it? Have you heard of it before?
Yeah.
So you knew of it and then...
Yeah, I knew of it, but I'm like, since the 40s, what are we now? 60 years later, I'm getting pulled there. So I'm Googling the Eagle's Nest to see how many miles it is away and how far away it is. And I was like...
Would you drive?
I would, yeah. Of course I would.
Yeah, of course you do, yeah.
But it's hard sometimes because you get drawn back to them. I'll do it in my sleep. I'll do it in visitation. I'll do it from distance.
Wow.
do you know what I mean? But that's where I was off today, and I was typing it in on me Google map to see how long it was and how many days away it was, and
Oh my gosh.
you know. But I would love to tour Ireland. I do need to tour Ireland and just get off on the beaten track as well.
Yeah.
There you go. I'm not lying to you. It's got, might not see it. It's got the eagle's nest at the top.
Oh wow, yeah.
So I was just
Can't see the mileage, but yeah. Awesome.
But I just know, I love Steve McQueen. I've got a big, massive 10-foot poster on my hall stairs and landing of Steve McQueen. I just love that type of, I'm not being shackled down. I'm having a great escape. But again,
Awesome.
it's that scenario where the strength of don't stop fighting. That's how I feel. So that's why I'm drawn there at the minute. I just know it's like keep going, keep driving. There'll be an underlining message to why I'm getting their visitations of that there today as well. So that's really bizarre. I went to Tutbury Castle and it actually tied in there with a past life situation and scenario the other day. And I wrote it down. The person I was stood next to give the information I'd written down on the pad. And I just showed Lisa and she was just going, I can't believe what you've just done there.
Wow, awesome.
The link and the connection of spirits coming through the veil, coming through the realm, communicating, giving you the information. And I've wrote it down and it's like you've given me the answer and I just go like, there you go. That's what I've received. You've just given me what I've just received.
That's fascinating, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and it was such a random thing for two people. I've written it down, and that person next to me has just gone blah, blah, and I've just gone, get in. Amazing,
awesome.
Love it.
Absolutely, it's fantastic.
Love it. How we doing for questions?
Right, I've got one from Janice. Then, would you recommend anyone to?
Every day she says good morning to me, and I'm just going to say she's one of my favourite little watchers out there, and she looks after me in her own little way as well.
Oh, that's lovely. So, would you recommend anyone to have ashes in jewellery?
Yeah, why not? At the end of the day, if that's their belief, and having somebody close and heartfelt, that's, how uplifting is it to have somebody that's quite close to you? You can't take a box of ashes out to work, can you?
No, I'm away for that. Well, I don't know. I'm working here, so yeah, they're with me, aren't they? But yeah, I know. Yeah, that's right.
So anything that gives somebody an upliftment or positivity, go for it. More positives brings more positives. So that's a win-win. And I feel with in and around, you're going to have to trust the jeweler to make that secure with looking after that.
Yeah, that's right.
Special memories of that person, aren't you? So again, it's having the trust and that. So again, you're coming into a specialist field for somebody that does actually do that as well, aren't you?
Yeah,
I mean, we get it where at the amount of people that come up to me and talk to me and say, well, good friends, really good friends, and say, well, I'd like to have my ashes at Anfield, and I'd like to have my ashes at the horse racing in Cartmel in the lakes, and you're like, that's what they like. That just run with it and go with it. It's whatever makes you happy. Do you know what I mean? It's we're on a journey. We've got to make the most of this now.
Oh, we definitely have.
And if somebody's got that love in and around the comfort of that as well, you know what I mean? It's, I've had information of a loved one that's passed 2 years before they passed. I can't give it. I'm holding it. I can't say anything. But that's what I'm saying about they will give you information. The more you can deal with and handle, they'll give you that information. It's how you respond that counts. So you've got to be professional again. So I would say to people, have you been to see Joe Blogs today? Oh, no, but I'm going next week. I'm going Tuesday. I'm going Thursday. So you nurturing and around them a little bit more. So in respect, you've got a little bit of a 2-year window where you're trying to be in and around friends, family and loved ones. And that's what I'm saying, Jack. This is where it touches you in a way where you do feel blessed to have that. Do you know what I mean?
So I do know, obviously, what you're talking about. So, you know, and it's a hard one to live with, isn't it? And but then
Again,
you've got the
again,
foresight, and you can make the
so many ways we can go out, isn't there? We're either
yeah,
going to
that's
go out
right, and
quick,
we know
or
it's going to happen.
we're
Yeah,
either going to go out quick, or we're going to either have a slow
yeah,
passing or whatever. But again, you know, you could say goodbye to your loved one today, nip to work, come back, and they're floored. Again, it's
you
like,
just don't know. Yeah,
again, it's meant to be. It's meant to be. You know, I'm a big
yeah,
believer in fate and path. I know I've had to make a window. I know something's coming in. I can't say. I know the timing's there. The timing's right. I can't give it because it's not happened yet. I know it
yeah,
sounds
yeah.
odd. I know
No,
it's
no,
happening.
that's it.
I
Yeah,
know it's happening. And
yeah.
I'll inbox you and I go, see, told you so. But I'll
Oh,
tell you
bless
more
you.
about that when it happens. But
Well,
they're
yeah,
nice things as well. So again, it is a double-edged sword. It's a win-win. It
yeah,
is a double-edged sword. You know, it's like you're not going to implode or impale yourself on it. It's all about having the full respect. It's all about
yes,
being professional. And it's also having the respect for everybody around you, the environment, everywhere that you go or whatever's going on. Do you know what I mean? The other
yeah.
day we went somewhere and it was like, I was like, oh, I brought milk. Oh, why? I said, oh, who's got off you milk, haven't you? You know what I mean? So they're the
You
little
did
things
to
you don't
Draco.
want somebody,
When
you
we're
don't
at
want somebody
Draco,
not to
you
have
brought
a
flasks. I remember
yeah,
now.
but I mean, even when Lee Bliss set up with the live in there, the first ever live in Drakelow Tunnels,
Right, yeah.
and we had public in there, and they said, "Where's Gary?" I'm helping Lee set up for about 2 hours. I'm running all the leads through, and
Oh, bless
because
you.
I was that excited for
Yeah,
that scenario to come through, and touching back onto the people that sit in the background and watch and just make sure everything's going on for me. That's fine out there. You know, good people around me. We've got technical guys out there that I've got a million and one ideas. I've give information, and then 3 weeks later they've been on the telly again, and I'm like, I can't keep doing that. It's not about me. It's
no.
just like, run with your own ideas, run with what you're
That's the
doing.
thing, isn't it?
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm not against me. I'm all for everybody else. But sometimes when you're putting these great imaginary things around and you're putting them out there and you're seeing them on the TV 2 weeks
no,
later, you're
no.
just like,
That's wrong. No.
but that's where you
People
again
are
you
like
test
that,
it.
yeah.
That's where you test it to the limit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like crack on. You do what I do. So you do what you want to do, and I'll do what I have to do now. So I
yeah,
do shut
that's
up shop
right.
a little bit more than what I did. I'm going to say I was more naive back in the early days. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? And you learn as you go along. So sometimes it's just worth shutting up shop, and you know the people you can trust out there. You know what I mean?
yeah. Trust is a massive issue for me now.
Massive, massive,
It,
massive
it
issue.
really is. Like I was chatting to somebody about that last night, actually, about trust, and it.
Yeah.
Wow. Once you're taught a lesson from somebody, that's it. And I don't know. Maybe it's not too bad not to trust, and because at least you protect yourself, don't you? In that way.
Well, you're learning again, aren't you?
Yeah, you do.
You're picking up
You
on
know
the
who to
energies as well.
trust. Yeah,
You're picking up on the energies that then people bring to the table.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
You
And
don't
life's
fall down that one again, do you? Do you? I think you have, haven't you?
no, not really. No, because
No.
there's just you just switch off and go and do something else in another room,
Yeah,
don't you? If people want
yeah,
to
that's right. Yeah,
be up to what they're up to, you know what I mean?
just
It's
leave
all
them to
about
it.
getting to the bottom of the room and the evidence.
Yeah, that's right.
So I was just looking for
Is
another
it,
question there.
no,
There's
I
all
don't
us
think there.
there.
Yeah, there's Russ. Yeah, absolutely awesome team Wednesbury. Yeah, love them to bits, and I haven't seen them for ages. But I need to.
How much have you put towards charity for December, Russ?
Oh, I need to. Yeah,
Yes, get on the case.
yeah, I need to put some. Buy some tickets for that because they're offering me a lot of readings, aren't they? Yeah. So if you look at Wednesbury Paranormal, they're running a charity event. Also, we've had Tracy and Andy Linden from Conjure Quest as well. They've just raised some money for charity as well. So it's brilliant. Things what
If you do,
paranormal can do.
if you do look at the Wednesbury Paranormal page, there's a few of us put readings up there and
Yeah,
different
that's right.
prizes up there as well.
Yeah. I need to write a book so I can give it away as a prize.
Well,
But I need to write it.
I
I've
need a
written
ghost.
it.
I need a ghostwriter, Jackie.
Oh well, I might be interested. Let me get this one out. Seriously, no, I've written it. I've just got to edit it. But with it being my work, I'm just ripping it to bits all the time.
And to be honest with you, I have had an amazing. This person blew my mind away when they offered to do that. They've offered to do that, and I'm like, I wouldn't know where to start. The last 15 years have just been monumental. They've just been monumental. You know what I mean? I've been in
Yeah,
and around a couple of disasters, and I've wanted to turn around before they've unfolded as well. And
yeah,
things like that, when your team's going, why am I feeling uneasy? Why am I feeling uneasy? What's going on? And when you're getting all these signs and triggers and things going on, it's hard to work out sometimes, but your gut feeling is never far off the mark.
yeah. That's it. I've got Stephen Moore here. So had the pleasure of hunting with Gary Fields in Leeds. Oh, was with the raft chasers? Is it? Was that the one? Was that something else?
I
In the
think
Bay
that might have been in. If Just correct me if I'm
Yeah.
wrong. That might have been in the hall. I'm trying to think of the big hall there. That'll come to
Mm.
me in a minute.
Yes,
I
it
do.
was.
Yeah, it was in the
Yeah.
basement, if I remember rightly, Stephen.
That looked an incredible one, and they're coming back again, aren't they?
They are, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had some fun that night. And to be honest, there was another. I've done a few up there with them, the lads from America, and
We're getting a malfunction going on here.
both nights were off the scale. Do you know what I mean? It was
Oh, yeah.
we done the hall in Leeds. Can't think of the hall in Leeds. It was the corn exchange, and we done the
Oh, yeah.
Kirkstall Abbey, and we done Kirkstall
Oh,
Abbey as well,
beautiful. Yeah.
and the museum. And it was just, we went in the bedroom in Kirkstall Abbey in the museum, and the stuff just coming in and around you. You could virtually see the energy stood at the door. You could virtually just look at the ghost. Basically, you could just,
Wow.
it was that strong, the energy. And we described it. Then all the equipment was going off as well that people had brought with them. And the whole room seemed to jump up at once. They were sat down, some people standing, but everybody just like absolutely took a gasp by the information that was coming through, like
Oh,
the
my
split
gosh.
second where you were building up to like this, watch out for this, I expect that, and it just triggered in all at the same time. So again, it's down to timing and the intelligence of spirits, because they know what they're doing as well.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, definitely.
And also another one I get is spirits will be waiting for somebody 3 or 4 days before I go and do a reading for them, or they know that they're coming along to have a reading with
Yeah.
me as well. And it's just like, okay, hang on. How can you tell spirits where there's no time conception? Give me 3 or 4 days and I'll be around Joe Blogs then, and we can take it from there. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's like the Whoopi Goldberg. I've got a song and it'll get in your nerves. So they will
Oh, gosh.
test you. Like, okay, take just hang back for 3 or 4 days, and if it's around that location or wherever I'm going or whatever. So sometimes you've got to ask nicely and politely for spirits just to hang back, and I've acknowledged, yeah. And sometimes I'll get spirits where I'll say to them, if you want me to help you cross and be with your friends, family, and loved ones, please wait in my garden. Follow the rainbow from where you are now. Follow the rainbow back to my back garden, and I'll help you cross over to your friends, family, and loved ones on a Sunday afternoon.
Oh,
And
bless
as I'm
you.
even talking now, I'm getting draft coming here. I'm getting a,
Oh,
and there's nobody in the house. There's just me, so I can feel a
yeah,
draft.
I can feel it round here, to be fair. Just when you're on about the rainbow, all of a sudden, like, what's going on? We've got to go soon, so we haven't got long left. But I've got a last question here from Linda Judd. I have a neighbour who tells me he hears voices. We find they are ghosts, but my neighbour won't commit to that finding. How can we help him?
Well,
Wow.
again, be open to receive. A nice way would be, Linda, is to just say, write down anything that they're hearing, because you'll forget when you're receiving information off spirits. You'll forget unless it's a dynamic vision or an image. Get them to write it down on a pad. you give that information to a medium and they'll go, oh, I know what that's about. I know what the building's about. Give me the address, give me the postcode. We'll link in. We don't have to be there. We don't have to visit. Certain mediums don't anyway. And we know what's coming along. It could be a 100-year RAF fighter pilot that died, that's re-looping again the time if somebody's doing an extension or somebody's up moving stuff or the energy's changing or shifting. Again, the time of veil. Again, you just get to know the drift of what's going on. But to help the person, they might not be a believer. And I always say, if you think of Victor Meldrew, when he connects with me, friends, family and loved ones that are non-believers, my guide and team push them behind me. So when they link, my guide will explain to them who Gary is, what's going on, why they've been beamed down Scotty. And then some nights they'll just bombard you. But when they're on the realm on the other side and they're a Victor Meldrew, they can still just come in and bombard you regardless and go, I've been waiting around that long, I'm having a go myself. I understand it now because I can see it differently. But get a notepad. If your friend's struggling, just say they've got to run with it. They might be waiting to open up. They might need all today's thoughts and relax the mind, empty the mind, clear the mind. They'll receive more information. If they're open to the receive, that's the way to do it. They'll get more information, Linda. And again, when their mindset's not shut, and if they want to open it and expand it more, it's up to them. People have got to do their own work. People have got to do their bit. Even on a reading, I'll say to people, put a bucket list out there. Do your dreams, desires, thoughts and wishes. Bring it to the table tonight. Let's see what the universe brings in around for your friends, family and loved ones. You do your bit, they'll do their bit. It's not about the medium sometimes. It's about your mindset around that person as well. If that person, Linda, wants to be open to receive, you've got to nudge them in the right direction and say, get a pad, sit down, clear your mind of your daily thoughts, run with it, see what they say. You might just get initials, you might get times. They can show them to you then, Linda, and you might go, I know what that's about. And you start putting the pieces together. Again, it's like being a paranormal detective, a spiritual detective.
Wow. Yeah. That's great that you want to help him, Linda. And it's fantastic. Linda says she's going to start a conversation about meditation and the aspect of clearing the mind. And
as again, if he's off kilt, he might have heart problems or in and around his heart chakra might be out, his throat chakra might be out. If you do a 10-minute balance and cleansing meditation, your chakras line up, you're good to go, you're an open book then. If you get drawn to another meditation, a guided meditation or whatever, there's millions out there. Run with what you go with. I would ideally just say to him, just chill, relax, tell me what you're picking up on, give what you're giving. And the more he gives, they'll give you more. And then, hence the medium, it comes in, rolls out, and that's what it's about. But we never stop learning.
No, it's an amazing world.
This isn't mine, by the way. It's just a black
currant juice. I
don't drink.
I've got to do meditation. I know I have. Andy Tom says meditation's a good place to start. And keep it clearing meditation. I need to start meditating again. I'm losing contact. I'm not picking up on as much now. I need to sort of
keep it simple. Keep things simplistic. I love simplistic paranormal investigating. It's just ace.
We were just calling out at the weekend. I probably got 3 hours footage of us calling out. We've got loads of things happening. It's brilliant. But I need to check through all that. So thank you very much, Gary. Thanks to everyone for their questions and comments. We have got to leave. We've got another show coming on the Things Network now, so I've got to go. But
brilliant. And again, we didn't touch on a lot for Christmas. We did at the start. Please reach out to people, folks. I've seen my friend's an amazing boxer. He's put a post on the other day. Nobody goes hungry. There's always people with food in the cupboards. You're more than welcome. Just be in touch, reach out, don't be down, reach out. It's all about positivity. More positivity, the better. Just ask your friends, family and loved ones. Reach out to people. That's what it's all about. Don't suffer in silence. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right. And I'm going to try and go live over Christmas because it is a bad time. I've lost my mum and dad and it is a time when you think about your family, isn't it? And
It certainly is, especially a lot
and
of people if it's the first year going
yeah,
through
that's
it.
right.
I've got an amazing friends field and everything of
Yeah.
connections and contacts, and I can honestly safely say there was only one person that rung me up. But
Wow.
by my best friends. But what I'm saying is, it's like that gives you a massive boost.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, I wasn't expecting that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it does help you. And
You know what I
if
mean?
like my friend Barry, he like there's times I was down and he'll like message me out the blue, he's a medium, and say, "Are you all right?"
Yeah.
Oh wow, and it does make a difference that someone else cares, doesn't it? But
It's the little things that
no,
count.
oh bless you. Thanks, Linda, and thanks everyone for watching. And we really have to go because we're going to get into trouble with the Dark Mirror Show. Ooh, and that
That's
rhymes.
that's what I'm trying to do. Get you into trouble. Keep it going.
I know. I want to. Shh.
Hey, we're only a minute over. That's not bad for us, Jack.
I know, that's right. I used to have a 2 hour slot. But yeah, we're going. Okay, so thanks everyone and take care. And I'm doing the Christmas show next week. You never know. We'll see who else is available. All
Loads of
right.
love and white light to everybody in the world that needs it.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I might even try and do a reading over Christmas. Hey. We'll see. Take care, everyone. Look after yourselves. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in.
Bye. Thank you.
Thanks for
Bye.
having us.